and look at what it is. 7 countries that the Obama administration had already identified needed further travel restrictions. I understand that, but what I'm saying is that the president recognizes that it is his duty and obligation to make sure that we keep this country safe, and that and by instituting a process by which we look at these countries over a 90-day period, and the process by which people can come in and out of this country to ensure the safety of each and every one of us, I think is something that makes a heck of a lot of sense. So I understand, and I think in a lot of cases, and I say this respectfully, that I think some people have not read what exactly the order says and are reading it through misguided media reports. I mean, that's when you actually read the report and understand the nexus of it and how it's working. And again, look at how it worked. When you talk about the 325,000 people, 109 were temporarily inconvenienced for the safety of us all. And they were processed through, Kristen. That's the process. I get the point is that you can go through and nitpick and say, okay, well, this individual is, but that's why we slow it down a little, and to make sure that if they are a 5-year-old, that maybe they're with their parents and they don't pose a threat. But to assume that just because of someone's age or gender or whatever, that they don't pose a threat would be misguided and wrong.
Let me just ask you about the rollout as well. Did Secretary Kelly find out about the executive order as it was being signed, and did Secretary Mattis find out only after?
No, what I'm going to tell you is what has been briefed out previously, which is that all appropriate agencies and individuals that were needed to be part of the process were. Everybody was kept in the loop at the level necessary to make sure that we rolled it out properly. Vivian.
You want to respond to the former president?
On that note, and how well were those departments briefed? I mean, you just said yourself that the president is willing to act very quickly when he has to keep the country safe. And so, is there a lesson to be learned from what happened last week in terms of maybe better preparing the departments that are relevant?
Well, okay, right. I understand the question that you're asking, but there's 2 things that have to get cleared up. One is if we announced this a lot earlier, it would have given people plenty of time to flood into the country who could have done us harm. That's not exactly a sound strategy, right? So the people that needed to be kept in the loop were kept in the loop. The people that needed to be briefed were. And if you, again, I think that this is largely overblown. When you look at the context of how big this was and the number of people that caught up, it's relatively minor as a percentage of the overall total. So when you look at how this worked on a Saturday, 109 people out of 325,000 were slowed down going in. I truly believe that it is being blown out of proportion, the extent to which this actually was, for what it did. And I think, frankly, government functioned very well. We made sure that the people coming in weren't coming in to do us harm. We made sure that the people who said that they went back to a country that was one of those 7 did so without any intent to do this country or people harm, and they all got in after the screening. The system actually worked really well. I mean, that's the takeaway from this, that the system worked well, the country is safer for it.
John, do you want to